Get a free CGB Shark token when you use the promo code CGB5 at checkout on any order at CoolStuffInc.com. That's promo code CGB5 at CoolStuffInc.com. And a big thank you to them for sponsoring my channel. You're cool. Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I'm ready to unveil my masterpiece, my favorite style of Magic, the control deck I am happy to play in this format, the one that gets me going. Get ready. Dimir control. Purple Pain. No Ashiok, unfortunately. 2022, if you're going to play that queue, has taken your Ashioks away from you. Ashiok never did anything wrong. Ashiok was just a good, honest 5-mana Planeswalker. And Ashiok would actually be a bomb in this format, which is just a shame. But the good news is we have other Planeswalkers to jam with. This deck is made for the 2022 ranked queue, and the idea is to play a Planeswalker, defend it with removal spells, sweepers, and all runs Epiphany birds and the occasional pest from Hunt for Specimens, and just plus it and plus it and plus it until the opponent gives in to the powerful card advantage that it creates. So our win cons are 2 Mordenkainen and 1 Professor Onyx, and 4 copies of Alrund's Epiphany, because when you either play Alrund's Epiphany before the Planeswalker, make the birds, and then block with those birds for the Planeswalker, or when you play it after the Planeswalker and get another turn activating the Planeswalker's abilities, you feel like a champion. Mordenkainen is a new card, but I've played it in a few decks already. For those who might just be dropping in, this is a +2 for 2 cards. Draw 2 cards, put 1 on the bottom. -2, make a dog. Its power and toughness are twice the number of cards in your hand. That's hype. The -10 exchanges your hand and library, and then you get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. So pretty sweet combination of the -10 and the -2. It takes a ton of loyalty. But if you defend your Planeswalker long enough, getting to 12 is possible. And it just means that you can make a dog the size of your deck and kill them with it, which is pretty sweet. So the rest of the deck is designed to, of course, keep these things alive. And there's a lot of things I'm unsure about as I'm running a wide variety of removal spells and sweepers to try to make sure that we have a lot of options playing the deck. It is very, very difficult to keep all the varied threats of the format in check. The one thing I know, if I want to beat the Prismari Dragon deck or even be competitive with other control decks, 4 copies of Saw It Coming go a long way. So I'm sticking with them, even though they're terrible, and I mean terrible, against the aggro decks of the current format. Cards like Ranger Class just giving you a mana sink to play around Saw It Coming when they see it coming is so painful, man. It's so hard. But 4 Saw It Comings just to hold the line and be able to beat other slow and control decks, because they do show up from time to time. And then the rest is all about kind of figuring out how to solve the aggro conundrums presented by mono white, mono green, and the other various decks that like to play Goldspan Dragon and other such nonsense. So 2 Child's Verdict, 2 Crippling Fear. Sometimes you got to have that sweeper on 3, like against mono, or on 4, like that mono white. You have to have that. Sometimes you need that exile effect. Old Growth Troll kind of demands it. So a split among those. 2 Divide by Zeros. It's expensive. It's not the greatest, but you need something to kind of bridge the gap till you play your sweepers, and you don't want it to be just another removal spell, because then your sweeper isn't getting as much value as it could. Divide by Zero is pretty good for that. It also just covers the bases of some other types of permanents like Cosmos Elixir that otherwise the deck couldn't really remove. And then we have 2 Soul Shatters, 2 Poison Cups. Soul Shatter originally was like the solution to the format because it killed Goldspan Dragon in a good way, and it's good, but it's not as good as people say it is. It's an overrated card because 3 mana to kill like a 1 or 2 mana creature against a deck that's going wide is very bad for you. So I have a split here with Soul Shatter and Poison the Cup. Poison the Cup, not a card I like playing, a card I honestly wish I could cut. It does hit the creature lands. I don't know. I will cut this as soon as I'm convinced something is better. Same goes for Power Word Kill. I only have 1 of it. There are decks out there that run all things that can't be hit by Power Word Kill, but usually there is something somewhere in every deck that you can tag with this. The creature lands are a good example. Even Is It Dragons, if they run a Hall of the Storm Giants, you'll want a Power Word Kill to take it out. So 1, I think, is better than 0. 1 copy of Flunk as well. Flunk hits a lot of things, and sometimes it's essential, like hitting a Toski, but a lot of times these decks are playing a lot of learn cards and lessons, or they're just, you know, pacing their threats well, using their mana sinks, and they have a lot of cards in their hand. And Flunk doesn't kill what it needs to kill. So I'm also on the one Flunk plan. I also have one check for traps because I think getting in their hand and kind of blowing up their plan, or maybe if I just run into a deck I've never seen before, getting an idea of what their strategy is can be really helpful. For Hunt for Specimens, this is the surprising learn card that we just want to make kind of an early speed bump and have access to the sideboard. And Hunt for Specimens is a good way of doing that. Of filling up our early turns, giving us a chump blocker. They also help defend our planeswalkers, those little pests. And Bloodchief's Thirst is pretty important in this format because you need to be able to kill the 1 and 2 drops of the format on site at least some amount of the time. Just spare a Sentinel, really good. The Wolf, the 2 mana 3/3, like killing that on site is just a good play. So Bloodchiefs, there's Luminarch Aspirant. Yeah, there's enough targets for this that it's worth having 3 copies. And then in the mana base, we also have ways to win games with Hallstorm Giants, Crawling Barons, usually coming off the end of a nice run of All Runs Epiphanies. The sideboard has Environmental Sciences Teachings, Necrotic Fumes, because we are running Hunt for Specimens instead of Cram Session, so we can turn it into a 5 mana kind of removal spell. And then we have Mascot Exhibition and Confront the Past to get our Planeswalkers back, which is how we get away with only having 3 in the deck. The Learn cards can double as a 4th Planeswalker, as well as a win con in Mascot Exhibition. So that's the deck. That's the explanation of the card choices. If you can think of a card I have not included in the deck, you are welcome to post it. The odds are I don't include it in the deck because I don't think it's as good as every other card in the deck. If you want the blanket answer to the question I get asked like 500 times a day, why not card X? I think these are better, but I'm not positive. Go ahead and tweak as you like. So let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. On the draw, Disruption. Saw it coming, Hunt. Big Planeswalker. No sweeper. Hopefully Hunt gets us there. If they do, in fact, come out aggro. Italians often aggro, in my experience. Doesn't mean that's true. But it's content. Interesting. Interesting. When do we want to play this? We could foretell this turn. We could also hold this up. I've seen a few decks where... I've seen a few cases where I would want this, like against Rowan, but I guess I have a Bloodchief's Thirst if they have that. Let's go like this. Then next turn, tapped Ice Tunnel, say go. Yeah, I would have disrupted that, I think, if I got the chance. And I would have drawn the blue, so I could have curved into Saw It Coming. Rough. It's rough. Magic is hard. Sometimes you just gotta make a call. Well, if one of the cards just has to be a land anyway, I think this is fine. All right, everybody just relax here. Opponent has a pretty full grip, so I'm guessing we'll get Teachings to go. Dragon, dragon, dragon. If we taunt them, do you think they're more likely to go for it? Mind games. Let's try some draw 2 action. Divide by 0? Okay. That's one way to do it. We're going to try to even up the cards in hand situation so that mine isn't as good. My Teachings, perhaps? Nope. I'm just going to go for the shock. Alright. We wait. We wait. Although now we gotta watch out and try to hit a land, which is gonna be fun. Okay, then. Funky. But we get the Jawari. Are we gonna miss the land? This doesn't work anymore. Yeah, we are gonna miss the land. Let's just say go and hope they give us something to divide by 0. They ran this out last turn. Like they wanted something to happen. Well, it happened. Gold Span Dragon. I really want to divide it by 0. I really want to be able to hit land drops. I really want teachings to get better. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's close, but it's not quite there, is it? So we have to foretell this, say go. Need them to miss a land there. Okay. We going dragoning again? We are. Countered. These are not saw it comings. They must be epiphanies. 4 cards in hand. If they're epiphanies, we don't want to be slamming a planeswalker, right? 2 epiphanies, they'll kill any planeswalker. Another Orvar. What are they using to target their own things? Divide by 0? Shock? They need another creature for this to be good, right? If it targets one or more other permanents you control. Interesting. See, they didn't have the counter before. We know that they run divide by 0, so that's an option here. Do we force out Liliana? Our opponent could untap, play a Goldspan Dragon. I think we just kill this, right? If the opponent divides it by 0, how bad is that? It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Prismari Command. Okay, let me read this again. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it targets one or more other permanents you control. That doesn't work, right? Like, good job? Okay then. Okay then. Card reading, OP. I know how these cards work. Let's fight. If the opponent fights back, we get to play Professor Onyx. Alright, still no counters here. Now we have an epiphany. Do we have to go for it? I think we have to go for a planeswalker. Whichever planeswalker we go for is very likely to die to 2 turns and some birds, which is really unfortunate. So let's go for our birds first. That way they can block. And do we make large dog? Or do we play Liliana? I'm going to play Liliana because I'm going to... Well, am I going to go for teachings? What are the odds I hit another counter? Reasonable. But not great. Also, if we play this, they could blow it up, right? Let's not go for teachings. Okay. They could blow it up by playing any instant speed effect here. Because then they'd have the same cards in hand as us. Alright, so Frostbite on a Birdo. And we'll see if a couple of turns in a row... Well, that Faceless Haven hurts. But let's see what they can do to Liliana here. Mm-hmm. What do you know? It's Allrun's Epiphany. Let's see if we can save her. And get a Magecraft trigger. They did empower up the Haven, which is what I was kind of holding for. Why I didn't kill a bird last turn, because then they just do that for sure. What? Spell Shield? Hexproof? I think you see a guard approach is better, but do what you gotta do. Alright, now they're on 2 cards in hand. Let's go for this. See if they drew a counterspell off the top. Not quite. Brutal. Another Frostbite's pretty good. Alright, another learn card to get this back would be a good start. Maybe I should have just Shadow's Verdicted the birds. Opponent's trying really hard, though, not to power up Haven. They could have powered up Haven there and sacrificed it if they wanted to kill Mordenkainen. But they have the 3rd Epiphany, so they're fine. But we had to get through these Epiphanies anyway, and it's better now than when they have a dragon and stuff like that going on. They've drawn the right cards, but we were able to force them to play them in an awkward way. So from here, we're going to see if we can take over. Let's start with a Verdict. Let's cast Hunt for Specimens. And we can get Mascot Exhibition, but I'm going to get Confront the Past and recycle one of my Planeswalkers. I'll take 5 life from a pest. Seems good. I could have tried to save it to protect a Planeswalker, but I think the odds of them being able to kill it if they want to are pretty good. Alright, so did they draw a counterspell? That's the new question. Who wants to come out and play? New card. Not sure if that's right. I just know it's the new card. Do I get 2 cards? Yay! Well, that went well. I was very nervous that wasn't going to work out. So, Crippling Fear is a card. You're telling me it's a card. Oh, wow. Opponent could have played this in response. If they had played this in response, we wouldn't have got cards from Teachings, right? Alright, they're doing the thing. Their deck just never quits. They've had... The top half of their deck is really good here. So, if we've lived through this, I think we're doing okay. What do these kill against our opponent? Nothing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is +3/+0. Well, we've got them down to a Faceless Haven with 3 Epiphanies gone. We go get a Mascot Exhibition. See what they've got for that. All the Storm Giants isn't bad. Our creature lands are going to come into play soon. Okay. Can you find the 4th dragon and the 4th epiphany? Because it's been that kind of game. All right, at least one thing you found was an island. Doesn't look like you got anything else here. Let's get strong. Haven can power up and block the 1/1 for free. But what do you got? Are you done? Did we take your best shot? How did it end this way? How did we get here, the opponent says. They didn't draw enough counterspells. That's the truth. Let's see, did they draw any? Seems like one of my games. They went through a lot of their deck. No counterspells, just a divide by 0. Maybe they cut them. They do have some interesting card choices in the deck. No blue. Hunt for Specimens does get... yeah. Hunt for Specimens gets the environmental sciences to make for an awkward draw, for sure. But we don't have to mull it, and we might just draw the blue source or something. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down, Mono Green. I have created a pest token. You wouldn't want to run into this pest token, would you? All right, super awkward. If we fetch blue, we don't get to kill the pack leader, even though we have a 1-drop removal spell. But I guess that's what we do here, because we don't draw land off the top. It's not what we do. Deck has 21 lands. Is it counting mauling? 21, 22, 23, 24. No, it's not. So it has 21 lands, and then it has 5 spell lands. It's got 26 land in it right now. Will we draw more? I guess we'll find out. Opponent curving like a boss. There's a land. Take that out. Please don't have Chariot one time. The Crippling Fear is looking bad, but the Verdict and the Divide by 0 are looking okay. Okay, they've got another play. God, they make it look easy. They make Magic look so easy. I can't drop lands, but they are just rolling here. Thinking about powering up their Hydro Layer. They don't want to extend on the board because they feel the board wipe coming, as a smart green mage should in this spot. Bright side, we're still at 20. $14. You think I can divide the Chariot by 0 and stay alive? Like, can they kill me here? I don't think they can. I think I need to get the Chariot off the field or dead. And then I can Shadow's Verdict. Yeah, I want to kill, if I can, I want to kill like the Chariot and or the Lair. Getting rid of either of those would make the Verdict a lot better. Mm-hmm. What I still need are honestly more lands. None of these are very good. Is there anything I want to discard from my hand? The Crippling Fear is a good killer of kittens. Professor Onyx is a stabilizer and a life gain source. This, I don't know if it will actually get cast. I don't have any creatures to sacrifice to fumes. I guess I'm taking Exhibition. Not thrilled about it. Alright, so now they don't have fast damage sitting on the battlefield. They get to rebuild with the Chariot, though. We need to draw a land so that we can counter the thing that would crew the Chariot after we cast Crippling Fear. Oh, okay. All that they need is a way to crew the Chariot, and they win. I'm just so tilted. All right, we go first. We have a lot of foretelling to do. Should be fun. Usher of the Fallen off of Basic Plains. Why would somebody run a Basic Plains? I don't know. Not sure. Well, let's just start killing things. Removal Tribal Engage. Cool. Well done. Their beautiful 1-2-3 curve has been destroyed. And we'll do this. That scry might be very helpful. Okay, that turns into equipment. But the Summoning Sickness doesn't matter, so we're going to poison the cup on our upkeep and try to hit land. Just make sure we get to these epiphanies. This is not a land, but it is like a land. We'll just go get sciences. Congrats on your equipments. We'll just try to kill all your creatures. The story of how to beat equipment for as long as equipment has been alive. Usha, usha. Woo! Creature's got a lot of toys. Do we let them have one turn to make sure we epiphany next turn? Then we might get to poison the cup and scry later. We're at 22. Let's do it. We can take a bump. They both have Sky Malls. Hog. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we Epiphany first to make the blockers to defend. Then we slam this sucker. Get the cards rolling. Holy cow. What do we put back? Saw it coming. Counters against mono white. What a joke. Counters against aggro in general, the way that the format has become, the way Magic cards are designed now. What a joke. So they can equip up this. They can tap one of these. If they had a portable hole, they could kill this. Swing and a miss. Wait, what? Non-token. Non-token is a line of text.
is my library.
Have you heard about the bird? I thought everyone had heard that the bird is the word. They did have a portable hole, or they top decked it. But if they had the portable hole last turn and the Mordenkainen lived, that's an oops.
I would run if I were you.
Not gonna play the land. Keep the dog. Powerful. Big doggo, yes, yes. Mighty doggo.
My faithful.
This card can turn the game fast. 1 minute, you think you're just dealing with some draw some cards Planeswalker. The next minute, there's a pack of angry puppers on your trail.
Your doom. Dog
Woof. Pretty good hand. Well, let's keep it. Of course, Swarm Shambler's super obnoxious. So I don't really want to fire off the Thirst on it. I want to save it for the Wolf. They always have it. Crippling Fear will be good eventually. It does depend if they have a Troll. Okay, they have a Mammoth and Ranger class. The Fear's looking okay. See if the opponent plays a spell this turn that we can counter, like a Chariot. Would be nice. Yep, they just play around it. Because they can. God, that's one of the things that makes Ranger class so good. Counter spells suck in this format. You just have to have them for the other decks that have counter spells in them, is the problem. I'd prefer not to play them at all. That's a good card. And go straight for Expanded Anatomy, though, which they don't have a creature land yet. Maybe we can just keep them off creatures. I'm having a hard time keeping them off creatures. Go figure. All right, if we can draw a Planeswalker to protect with this Alrund's Epiphany, that's a good start. Although this thing with Trample is a major problem. So we have to draw a removal for this anyway. But it's going to be hitting us so hard so fast. And the Verdict counters the Exhibition, so we counter this. Just try to slow this damage down and find an answer. God, Mono Green's good. It's so far ahead of us as a deck, it's insane. It's actually crazy. The Mauling's a good draw. Wow. Well, that's why Alrund's Epiphany is a 4 of even in control decks in this format. The card just turns games all on its own. That can hit the that can hit the Mascot Exhibition pretty hard. The opponent can pump this, put a counter. As long as we maul this, we're doing good. How many turns of attacking do we need with these? 3? Are we gonna get that? Don't think so. So let's go with 5. If it's 3 turns anyway, 5 covers 3 turns just as well as 6. What a draw. It's going to be a tough one to race. I really don't want to have to verdict, but it's looking like we will. Devouring Tendrils. They tap out for that? Okay. Alright, I'm going to kill the Professor anyway. If they attack with both, they get to draw a card. I don't think I can wait for the counter to target. This will trigger first. They say good game. It's not over. You attack with the pack leader, right? I go to 3. I can't attack you with everything. It doesn't kill you. And then next turn, you can draw the land for Mascot Exhibition, power this up, and then threaten lethal. But that's how you win with this deck. You just frustrate them to death. All right. On the play, D's hand. Let's do this. Leather armor, huh? On the play, getting teachings works a lot, but they just played a turn 1 leather armor, so we can't bank on that being good. Let's grab sciences. Professor of Sim blah blah blah. Armor makes it a 2/2. Let's chill on the counterspell. Next turn we can sciences and check for traps and then verdict someday in the future. We can wait a turn on this block. Maybe 2. Yep. Oh, you like looking at people's hands and taking cards, huh? Well, I got something for you. Blade Historian and Faceless Haven in the same deck. Okay, then. I'm grabbing Sparring Regimen because everything else can die to a Shadow's Verdict. Am I blocking? Probably. Nah, the Blade Historian doesn't. It's just a long way from being cast is all. By the time it's cast, hopefully I don't have to think about it too much. I guess the sciences make it way more castable. Yeah, I guess with a lot of learn cards and sciences in multiples, it could be good. It's another take on mono white anyway. The leather armor I don't get. All right, creatures have rebuilt. They have regathered and regrouped. They're gonna have a Blade Historian, which means Mordenkainen would die, which is not cool. Good play. We're gonna have to poison that now instead of the Blade Historian. But hopefully we find another sweeper. Those are land. As much as I like Crawling Barrens. Not good enough there. All right, fodder Mordenkainen. Feels bad. But we have to find a sweeper. Okay, we find another Mordenkainen. All right, we've got him on the board. We just have to find Crippling Fear.
You have betrayed the battle. You cannot comprehend the damage you wrought.
Still not it. This is getting absurd.
One must first know.
We can confront the past to bring Mordenkainen back and keep digging, or we can mascot exhibition and try to just square up on the board. But I'm enjoying the absurd, to be honest, not gonna lie. No point in blocking, because Mordenkainen dies anyway, and I have no trades because of the double strike from the Historian. There's a good draw. Let's go. All tap lands. All right. But we get to make things interesting. How much Mordenkainen can this deck take?
I'll swat you, pest.
More Blade Historians, not the double strike. Anything but the double strike. And extra that's not fair.
Maintaining balance requires insight.
That'll probably get the scoop. It was only a matter of time, after all. Oh, no. All right. Well, they survived one epiphany. How many will they actually survive? The answer is that was it. Are we going to draw black mana? Let's try. I'm gutsy like that. Paladin class. Well, our counterspells just went to hell, so let's play this. Clarion Spirit on 2, like a boss. No black mana. No sweeper either. A black mana right there, and we're in this game. All right, not over yet. Got to do it on our turn, so. Gross. But not the worst. Toski, you flunk out of class. We haven't drawn any land since the keep, by the way. Not a single one. I need to, so let's do an upkeep Poison the Cup. 3 epiphanies. Actually, the poker hand is complete. Shuffler's fine. We need to foretell an epiphany next turn too. So if we can hit untapped land, foretell an epiphany, Blood Chief's Thirst. We're kind of in it, you know? Ouch. Opponent throwing hands. All right. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing how functional the game becomes when you find the land. A little lucky, sure. Still freaking cool. All right. Opponent's not done with us. 3 turns in a row, though, maybe can turn the tide. Because we're still at 15. It's not like we're too low on life. They can't kill us in one swing yet. Not yet. You gonna activate that layer of the Hydra for nothing? Or are you gonna pass this turn? Yeah. Alright, untapped land. It would be the 3rd one in a row, which would be very lucky. But we're trying nonetheless. Check for traps. We get the last card in their hand. All right. Next turn's going to hurt. But the idea is they attack with everything. And all we have to do is find an untapped land somewhere. And we attack with Hall of the Storm Giant at the end of this Epiphany train. Should be enough for lethal. We do need them to attack with everything. Okay, they didn't... oh, they get the token. Okay. Could be a problem, but we have a Thirst. If we find the untapped land and it's anything other than the last one we draw... that token's going to be a problem. Okay. Do we hold off on this? I think we do.
You can't even comprehend.
We can make a 4/4. How does that stack up on this battlefield? It's okay. Yeah, I think we make a 4/4. The next Epiphany has to get us over the edge. We've got some chump blockers. We can drop to as low a life as possible, then to another Epiphany, and have Mordenkainen's minus and plus. Opponent finds a land. They can power up a layer of the Hydra. They're thinking. They don't have a Trampler to go with the Paladin class's final level. They activate the level. Here comes the Chariot. Whatever they give the bonus to, it'll have double strike. So this is our double striker. So we block there. Take these. Hold on to your butts. It's about to go down. There is a Hydra. So we gotta still make sure we maximize this hit, this damage. But I think we've got it by a long stretch, by a long shot now.
The entire multiverse is my library.
I was just making sure I had enough mana. I know I had 7, but seeing everything lit up like scared me. And I really didn't want to goof it up. Because the opponent could power up Hydra block there, but then they're dead. Yeah, I'm overthinking it. I know. I just like to be sure. On the play, removal all day. Let's see if our opponent is into that. Or if they're going to play counter spells and make me look like a fool. Make me look bad. Green? Will this be the game we take off mono green? Deck is so good. So strong. But here we come. Silence you. There's nothing to woof about. Troll, 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 troll. Land draw, thank you. Okay. So I could take 4. I could also Soul Shatter here, and then they activate the other side of Ranger class. If I draw an untapped land, I get to exile everything. I think I give it one shot for that, since using the extra mana to untap everything would be frustrating anyway. Or not to untap anything, but to activate level 2. Like, just to give them something to do with this 2 mana. And we do hit the untapped land. We don't have a counter anyway, anything that we could counter a chariot with. So let's just get rid of these. An exiled troll is a good troll. And then if we hit untapped land, we have Epiphany into Mordenkainen. Our Professor, really good card. What do you fetch? Anatomy, okay. So, we can't defend Mordenkainen from a Trampler with this, so we have to wait. But fortunately, we have the mana for 2 Soul Shatters. If they go for the Anatomy and the Ranger class activation and play around counter magic, we have the Shatter. They go for the activation, that resolves. They go for the Anatomy, that resolves. They're feeling really good probably about a Snakeskin Veil. But this gets around it. Alright, Epiphany first. Want to have creatures between Mordenkainen and our face. They can run Froghemoth.
To control, one must first know.
Defend! Defend the land! What'd I tell you? What did I say? Alright, keep it as high as possible. The +2 really helps racing on the upward trajectory with this card. At least they don't get their Froghemoth trigger from attacking a Planeswalker.
Your tiny mind couldn't possibly grasp my
Well, no Epiphany, but we're doing okay. Can't be too sad. Well, if they kill it, this gets it back. That's the idea. Play Planeswalker, defend Planeswalker. Until the opponent is beaten into submission. Maybe I should have divided by 0 there so that I could Jwari Disrupt a Snakeskin Veil, but then they just cast it again on their turn. Gnarly Professor. Let's fight it on the stack so that we don't try to fight a Snakeskin Veil on the field. All right, well, they're tapped out. We don't have the mana, the creature for the fumes now, but we'll get there. I'm not worried. We'll find something.
maintaining balance requires insight.
There's the Veil, 2 Gnarly Professors. 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's do this now without the Veil. Mascot Exhibition's not bad. All right, come on, buddy. Keep it coming. We got spells for days. Let's make them pay.
Universe is my library.
Dig in for those epiphanies. Come on, baby. Means that they're not going for this, so we could fight it on the stack, but then they just play it again. No big deal. Another soul-shattering soul shatter. Okay, they do not go for that. They're holding up Veil. But Veil doesn't protect the pat. Like, it's not going to get Mordenkainen dead, right? This can go to 6. This goes to 7. We could also make a big boy, which I think it's time. Have a 10-10. Ah, my faithful hound. Another one? Could try to save this for exhibition, but I think I'll find something else for it. Could divide this by 0, but I like having divide by 0 in hand. All right. They scoop it up, like I said. Protect the Planeswalker until they drop. And we are back for the post-game wrap-up. Let's check the stats powered by Untapped GG. Download link in the description and from the deck list. If you try the companion app, it does support the channel. I played a good amount of this between my stream yesterday and between today's video, and not bad. 17 and 9, definitely my style of deck. When you're like 60% or better with a control deck, you're pretty good. Like, that control decks just don't really have win rates higher than that most of the time, unless you have an absurdly lucky run, those once in a lifetime, those beautiful feels. So pretty good. Holding its own against mono green, which is probably the best, and as you can see, the most played deck in the format. So we'll take a 50-50 there, I suppose. Beating mono white is a very good feels, and hanging on against everything else. So you see, if there's only one deck in the format that's really beating you, and you're going 50-50 with it, and you're doing well against everything else, then I think you've got the makings of a good deck. And if I were going to play a control deck in the format, Dimir is a wonderful starting point. There might be some other things to explore, like Esper, Grixis, and I promise part of the goal of the channel is to play something a little different every day. I hope to explore them all. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this look at Dimir control. I know that I did, if making others squirm and suffer. And just plussing Planeswalkers until they concede is your jam. This is a deck for you. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.